I'm Caitlin Matson, and this is The Green Room. Dr. Jamie Knight from Friends University joins me to talk all about an upcoming day of music in Wichita, Satie Day, this coming Saturday. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, Satie Day, a celebration of one of the most eccentric, esoteric composers, Erik Satie, and a simultaneous performance of one of his more complex works, uh, Vexations.
Mhm. Yes, this is a very interesting work that was not published by Satie, but we think it was probably in response to a breakup that he had with his girlfriend. So he was very vexed at that point, and he wrote this piece that was to be performed 840 times. Now, luckily, the piece is a pretty short piece, and it's not a very difficult piece to play, but the difficulty is in performing it 840 times. So we're not going to have, like you said, we're not going to have just one person do it. We will simultaneously have this performed at various venues throughout the city. And we're very excited about this. This is the first time it's ever been done in Wichita or in Kansas for that matter. So we're very excited for this historic event to happen this coming Saturday.
So it's going to take place across town, the different venues, um,
Uh,
City
yes.
Arts,
Uh-huh.
and then
Wichita, Wichita Art Museum, Exploration Place, Sedgwick County Zoo, and Mark Arts.
and they're all kind of spaced out just enough so people, if they would like, can visit every single venue and hear a performance in the different locations.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we welcome everyone and anyone. Just come and hear it. It's like I said, it's historic events, so we're very excited about this.
Uh, I love the idea of this being played across town. I adore thinking of it being played in the Stingray Cantina at the Sedgwick County Zoo. I'm sure they'll
Yes,
love it.
we hope we don't vex the stingrays. So
So this just kind of all falls in line with the sort of human Erik Satie was. He was idiosyncratic. He was eccentric. Nobody knew what to expect of him. Can you just enlighten us a little bit on the composer and kind of the nature of his personality and how he fit into the culture of the time?
absolutely, he was around the turn of the century. Um, Born in 1866, he was a friend of the Impressionist composers, so he knew Debussy and Ravel and such. But his writing took a different turn. He wanted to get away from the seriousness of music, which was really happening at that time. At the turn of the century, it was very Wagnerian, it was very deep, and music was meant to be very emotional and very lush writing that Debussy and Ravel were writing at the time. And he wanted to take a different turn. And his music would be poking fun at something or calling something, like veritable flabby preludes for a dog, or play this like a nightingale with a toothache. I mean, these kind of things that would kind of poke fun at the seriousness of the writing. And the writing itself is quite a bit simpler in a way. It's a little less. I don't want to use the word artistic, because it's very artistic in its own way, but it's just very. It's coming from more of a kind of a simpler level. And so he was really, and he really foresaw that, because that's kind of what music was happening in music with the advent of neoclassicism, and then coming into people like Les Six, who were very influenced by Satie, and that whole group of composers using folk music, cabaret music, or like that as well. So there was a lot of, I think, something that he really foresaw in his music, but it's very, very different than what was going on during his lifetime. So,
And the quirks of Erik Satie.
oh
Can you
boy.
give just a couple of anecdotes?
Oh boy. Well, when he died, in his flat, they found more than 300 umbrellas, because he wouldn't go anywhere without an umbrella. It might have been not a cloud in the sky, and he would have an umbrella with him. It was kind of his trademark. So, yeah, he was really into that. He had two grand pianos in his flat, that one was on top of the other. And the one was used for playing, the one on the top is used just for storing things. And for some reason, he thought this is the best place to put the other piano, just on top. So they found it was just very interesting to go in and see how he lived. He only ate white food. So at the concert we're having that evening, we're going to have a reception of all white food. Of course, nowadays that they say the opposite. Doctors say you don't eat white food, but that was what Satie was really into. So
Well, we'll make an exception
yes,
on Saturday.
that's right.
We're going to come back and talk even more about Sati Day, hosted by Friends University across the city of Wichita. Dozens of pianists coming together to make this happen. We're actually going to hear a couple of works for four hands composed by Erik Satie, called Three Small Pieces. We're going to hear pianist Jean-Philippe Collard and Chantal Juliet on the Pascal Rogue on the piano. And we'll be right back and we'll talk more with Dr. Jamie Knight. A taste of Erik Satie, one of his works for four hands. Satie Day, hosted by Friends University, is giving Erik Satie highlighted in Wichita this Saturday, May the 18th. You can hear the Kansas premiere of Satie's Vexations at different venues across the city of Wichita. And I have Dr. Jamie Knight joining me in the green room. Jamie, what's the website that people can go to look up all the information?
Yes, that would be friends.edu. And if they want to, actually, the website is now closed, the one with Satie. But if people do want to take part, they can email finearts@friends.edu and you can still get in.
Oh,
So
if somebody's still interested in playing that day?
yes, yes. If we have any vacant performance slots and things, we would be happy to fill them in. Or if they would like to play a part, not performing, but just assisting in any way, like overseeing a venue or that, we would be more than happy to have people help in that way as well. So yeah, just email finearts@friends.edu, and we'd be happy to assist you in any way that if you'd like to be involved in some respect. So
So we have Vexations. It is being performed this Saturday. Many different performances, beginning with a 9 a.m. performance at City Arts that goes until 1. At 10 o'clock, you can go to Exploration Place or the Wichita Art Museum. Those performances going until 2. The Sedgwick County Zoo in the Stingray Cantina. Those stingrays will be enjoying some Erik Satie from 11 a.m. until 3 in the afternoon. And finally, Mark Arts from noon until 4. And then you have a closing concert that night. Talk to us about that. What's on the program and what can we expect?
yes, we're very excited about this. This is our finale concert, May 18th, 7:30 p.m. in Alumni Auditorium at Friends University. If you've ever gone down Kellogg and seen our big tower building with the clock, that's the building we're at, and it'll be the third floor of that. And we are celebrating not only Satie, but pieces written around the time of Vexations. So there'll be a piece by Amy Beach, a piece by Fauré, a piece by Debussy,
Right.
but then a lot of other Satie, other pieces that I know you will know. So one of the Nocien, one of the Gymnopédies, which are very, very famous. So if you think you don't know Satie, actually you probably do. You just if you hear it, you'll probably recognize it. We have Satie loved dogs. He really loved dogs, and we're playing an homage to dogs right at the very opening. So it's a bit theatrical, but it should be a lot of fun. We're also having a piece called the Sonatina Bureaucratique, which is a send-off on Clementi's Sonatina in C major. Any pianist out there will know exactly what piece I'm talking about. It's a very famous sonatina. And he took it and recomposed it and wrote it from the viewpoint of a businessman at the time who was looking for a raise. And we're going to have a theatrical performance of this. And then just all sorts of different aspects of Satie's life are going to be represented: the umbrellas, the white food, his love of dogs. All of that's going to be theatrically represented in this concert. So it's not just a normal concert. We're going to have all sorts of surprises and fun things in it.
It has the potential for an amazing day for a group of friends or maybe a date. I'm imagining somebody who loves to dress up, to bringing their parasols and their umbrellas around with them,
Please
and,
do.
visiting a few of the venues, listening to Vexations, and then capping off the night with this wonderful, recital featuring Dr. Jamie Knight as well as Dr. Nathaniel May and dogs.
And dogs.
Don't forget that part.
Let's not. No,
And
that's right.
white foods.
And white food.
It's
Yes,
just delightful, you know, the oddness of it all. It is an oddity. He was such an amazing, fascinating person as well as composer, and I think it's just brilliant to have a day dedicated to somebody who isn't just your normal Brahms, Beethoven, Mozart. It's great, and it'll be informative.
absolutely. Absolutely. So,
All right, so for more information, you can go to the Friends University School of Music website to get the schedule.
yes, yes. And if you want to get tickets for the concert, that will be at friends.edu/fine arts tickets. Now, if you want a free ticket, go to Vexations and collect a postcard, and then you can get in for free. And we have these postcards that will have rooms for stickers. So if you attend different places, you will also get a rosette ribbon as a commemorative um, aspect of it as well. So
Oh, that's so great. Well, congratulations in advance. I know it's going to be wonderful, and I
thank
hope you
you.
have a big crowd. And I think it's also a great way to engage the community because how many people, if you had to estimate how many pianists are taking part that day?
We right now have about 30 that are going to be playing, so that's going to help. In fact, the three of the venues are already pretty much full. The Zoo, Mark Arts, and Wichita Art Museum are already full, but we might still have room at City Arts and Exploration Place. So
Okay, you heard it here. If you're a pianist and you're interested in taking part, the piece of music itself is not long at all because it is repeated and you're kind of given this, 20 minutes, you're repeating this for X amount of time. So don't let that scare you.
yeah. It's not a difficult piece. If you have any piano background or not, it really is not that difficult. And also, don't feel like you're going to be in the spotlight. It's really more of like a happening. I like to say, rather than a concert where you're on the stage and the spotlight's right on you. People will be milling around, so don't let that scare you as well. It's very informal in a way, just like Satie was in a lot of ways.
How appropriate. Enjoy Sati Day. Thank you for coming on and updating us as to all the goings on this Saturday.
Thank you for having us.